Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So at the start of Madden 19 and some of the other previous Maddens, some of the top tier elite cards, I'd say 86 plus overall, generally go for a lot less in the first few days than they end up going after the first week to 10 days, moving into even September even. So even for a 4 to 5 week stretch, they hold this price in some cases. So a potential method for you to make some coins right out of the gate would be to buy some of these high overall cards. I'm going to go through some examples here of cards that, cards and positions that have sort of went through this trend where it started low and then, gained grounds and potentially even some cases doubled their price after even, like 10, 12 days. And some cards and positions that haven't done that. And what you'll see is some of the skilled positions such as quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers don't tend to have the same upward trend that some other cards have, because those are the cards that get a lot of upgrades a lot. Those quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, those skilled positions on offense, those tend to get a lot of upgrades early on and throughout the year. So those cards, even though they might go up a little bit in the first week, then they start to have a generally downward trend, or at most they sort of have sort of a net neutral trend where the price stays about the same. But we'll start with the first example here, 89 overall Aaron Donald at the start of Madden 19. As you can see here with this graph, Tuesday, July 31st, 2018, 191,000 coins about. But then right away already, by Thursday, August 2nd, 234,000 coins. Then we go up here, see Sunday, August 5th, 335,000 coins. And you see it stays, there's some, downward trending, but, really 290 is the lowest it gets, which is still 100K more than what you would have spent. Then you see it goes up here, 338. And it continues this basically trend at around 300,000 coins all the way through until really October, when you see this dip here from 300,000 to 225, then 190, and then there's this sort of valley here before it peaks back up again. But even though that's more of an extended area, you see in the first 3-4 weeks, it's at about 300K. But if you notice right away, 191, 224, 227. So if you're able, again, it's not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to get these coins right out the gate. I mean, getting 190,000, 200,000 coins in the first few days of Madden Ultimate Team is going to require a lot of grinding, solo challenges, solo battles. If there's some profitable sets you're able to do, if you're able to snipe some cards off the auction house and flip them right away, or if you pull some packs, sell some stuff off, get some coins, and then look to invest in some of these cards. But it is a potential for you to, again, 191 to 330K after tax. You'd be sitting at about 300K, so you would have made about 110,000 coins. Now again, it isn't necessarily the easiest thing to get these coins, but if you're able to do so, you can really profit off of that and have a nice stable set of coins heading into the NFL season. So we'll look at the second example here with Jalen Ramsey, 89 overall core elite. As you can see here, started out at about 300,000 coins. So again, he was even more expensive than the Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's topped out price was about 300K. But Jalen Ramsey's starting price is going to be at about 300,000 coins. But as you see here, it depends. It's a lot like stocks. it depends how long you want to wait. You see right here, after about a week, 405,000 coins. If you wanted to sell right away, after tax 360,000 coins, you make 60,000 coins. But for a 300,000 coin investment, 60,000 coin profit may not be enough for you, which is completely understandable. And if you see here with Jalen Ramsey, he goes up here 515K and he stays at about that 500K range, from late August all the way to late September. So about a month he stays that, and then you obviously see a drop off here at the beginning of October, when I think maybe MUT Heroes came out that sunk some of these prices, and some of these cards started to get 99, 91, 92 overall upgrades, which started to make these cards less valuable. But again, you see this card, 300K, you spend, even if you don't buy it right away, let's say you get it for 350, and you wait until early September to sell for 500,000. After tax, 450,000 is what you will get, and you'll make 100,000 coins. If you would have bought it right away, you would have made about 150,000 coins. So again, just showing you the potential. Again, is it easy to get 300,000 coins in the first couple days? Absolutely not. You're probably going to have to pull some packs, get lucky, sell some of those cards, maybe get lucky from some of your pre-order packs. I'm not saying this is easy, but if you're able to do it, that profit is there. We'll get into some less expensive ones. You're not going to see the same amount, 150,000, 100,000 profit, but it requires less capital, and you're still able to get percentage-wise a pretty solid amount of profit. So we'll look at this Gerald McCoy, 86 overall defensive tackle, so a lower overall. However, as we look here, starts out for 44,500 coins, then slowly climbing up 54,500, 59,500, 60, topping out about 88,000, 90,000. Some downward trends and upward, but you still see, even through the rough times, it goes back up to 86,000 in late August. This trend here, and that it goes up in November, I think that's because of potentially an upgrade that came out around Thanksgiving time, where his power up and his core elite might have went up in price, and that might be why there. So just to explain that trend. But we're really looking at early on trends, because you're going to want to buy early in the first few days, and then you're going to want to sell either within, the next week or 10 days, or potentially hold till the end of August, early September. Again, this is a lot like stocks, and for a lot of people, buying stocks is difficult because, they can't deal with, the downward trends. Even though it could go down for, 3-4 days and then up, and then back down, a lot of peaks and valleys. A lot of people panic and get worried during those valleys. And then once it gets up to the peak, they want to sell right away. Or they want to sell when it's at a valley because they don't want it to get even worse. So it's really about who you are, how much of a risk you want to take. I'm trying to provide some sort of history for you in both the sort of players where this happens, the positions, some of the stuff that would help either the prices go up more or not would be sets that come out, the content that comes out right at launch. Are there competing cards, and are there a lot of them that compete with these cards? So if multiple defensive tackles came out in the first 2 weeks that were, comparable to Gerald McCoy's overall, within that 84 to 88, 89 range, you might not see this. But generally, that doesn't happen with these positions. It's the running backs, quarterbacks, wide receivers, as we will see in a few minutes, because those positions tend to get the most upgrades, that you're not going to see the upward growth like you see with some of these other positions like Gerald McCoy, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Luke Kuechly that we will look at in a minute. But you see here, 44.5, climbing up to nearly 90K. So that's another example. The last example of a positive trend that I want to show you is with the 89 Luke Kuechly. As you can see here, starting out at 187K, and he slowly went up to about 270. This is an example of one where you might want to wait, or you could sell right away depending, but it's probably not worth it based on how much coins you'd have to invest right away. So you see here, about 195, 187, so about 190. And if you sold right here at that 270 or that 285 range, after tax you'd be at about 250. So you make 50 to 60,000 coins. But considering the investment of about 190,000 coins, it's up to you if you think 50 to 60,000 coins is worth it. And if you want to take that risk, you see it here from 285, it goes down 240, 250, but then you see here early September, you see this peak at 375. I don't know the specific reason for that. That might be tied to content. Maybe there wasn't a lot of middle linebackers coming out at that time, and people may have anticipated that there would be, so his price went up. Maybe there was something to do with his power up. I'm not entirely sure. But the basic point here is the card started out low, or relatively low based on the price that it went up to. 187, 195K. That went up to 270, 285 range, 290, and then went up to about 375 for about a day or so there, a day or two. So it's really up to you. When do you want to sell? When, if you want to hold, it's definitely a risk. It's probably not a big risk if you hold at around this point, because even though you see a dip to 240 or so, it does come back up generally. And worst case scenario would be you have to sell at 240, you get about 215 back, and you make only about 20, 25K. So you guys can do whatever you want with that. I just wanted to show you guys some positive examples of that. But now I'm going to show you guys some negative examples, because it's not a guaranteed thing. It's definitely based on the sets that come out, the content, the positions. I definitely wouldn't go after running back, quarterback, and receiver. Those prime offensive positions, those skilled positions on offense. I would definitely stay away from that, because those are the ones the flashy upgrades come out. It's a lot of these guys, these defensive guys, that don't see a lot of love early on until you get to some of that team of the week content. So I'll show you LeVeon Bell here. 88 overall, core elite LeVeon Bell. As you can see, started out about 185K. Right away he goes up a little bit, 200K, but after tax, you're break even at best. Then you see this dip right away, 145. And even when it comes back up, it comes back up to still about the same area that it started. And then that's short-lived and it comes back down. So this downward spike is, coinciding with team of the week. If you were to buy one of these skilled positions, you'd have to sell early. It would have to be buy right away and sell it pretty early, pretty much right around here, the first. And again, this is a bad example because you're still losing coins or breaking even. But let's say it was 185 and this was, 250K. You'd have to sell it right then before the weekly content comes out with team of the week. Because running backs, quarterbacks, receivers are going to get upgrades every week. It's just how it goes. Those are the positions people like to watch on Sundays and to play with in Madden. And they're just not going to be the positions that are going to increase in value. Especially right out the gate with these cards, there's going to be upgrades constantly. So I wouldn't spend my time upgrading on a guy like LeVeon Bell. I'll show you 89 Aaron Rodgers, around the same deal. It's a probably better example of if you invest in him, you're going to have to sell him right away. See 276,000 coins here starting off, and then pretty quickly he elevates to 330. You're going to want to sell right then. And again, that's 330 on August 4th. He was 276 on the 1st. So within 3 days, you're seeing about a 60K or about 55K increase. And you're going to want to sell then. Now again, you're not going to make many coins. 330,000 coins after tax. You'll be at about 300,000. You know, you made, what, 22K after tax about. Not necessarily worth it. So, again, I wouldn't invest in a guy like Aaron Rodgers. Now we'll look at the last position here. Antonio Brown, 89 overall wide receiver. You know, same deal here. 179. Yeah, it gets up to about that 200K range. Then he dips to 145. Yeah, you know, he does go back up here. Gets about 227, 230. But again, what'd you pay? You paid, you know, 180, 200. And after the valley, he peaks to 230 or so. And after tax, you make what, 7K or so, 7K. If you paid 200, you make about 27 or so. If you paid the 179, again, you know, making under 30K for spending 179. It's up to you if you think it's worth it. It's a risk in my opinion. So again, I wouldn't invest. And again, you know, it's after, you know, pretty decent amount of time. It's after over a month. So it's up to you if you want to invest in skill positions. I wouldn't. You know, I showed you guys like Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. You see this upward trend you want to look at here. Gerald McCoy, this upward trend. Luke Kuechly, this upward trend. That's what you want to look at. So I hope this was helpful for you. Again, it's up to you if you want to do it. It's not going to be easy to get these coins. I'll try to come out the video, show you guys some tips for how to get the coins. A best way to get the coins at the start of Madden 20 Ultimate Team to help you guys out to get some coins and maybe be able to do this. But that is the video. I just wanted to share this. I know it's pretty early still, but you know, just get you guys thinking about what you might want to do right out the gate when you get the game in EA Access, or if you get it when the game launches. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.